So figure out what you can do. The stuff you do outside of the gym can propel you way farther than the gym can. Because if you're only spending an hour in the gym, but as you said, Andrew, the other hours that you're awake, you know, if those are spent doing the right things, this shit can happen. It'll compound. It'll compound a lot.
And it's addicting. It's so addicting, you know, just as addicted as we are to the gym and, you know, making gains or whatever. You know, you go for that 10-minute walk and you're just like, oh shit, I'm in it right now. You know, like I'm making progress right now. And then also like, you know, like you were saying, like, you know, we get into the gym to like help our physique, you know, whether it be to lose weight, gain muscle or whatever. And then when you see somebody that like, oh shit, I think I'm bigger than that person. Like, or I got more muscle. Like, fuck yeah. Like you get fired up. Well, now when you're walking straight, you see everybody else that's duck footing. You're just like, shit, well, like I'm doing something a little bit better than them. And then I think about that with like
you want to just go up to the person and say, you're a piece of shit. Walk away. They'll be like, what? What the fuck is that?
I'm better than you fucking peasant.
That guy had his nose so high up. What the fuck was that?
That's fucked up.
That's great.
When it comes to like diet, the way we walk, a lot of these good habits.
Yeah.
You know, like what you were saying, like when we spent, you know, my entire life walking, you know, with my feet out and like causing back pain and all these things. But it's like now that I'm reversing that, it's sort of like, you know, my knees are aging the opposite way than they're supposed to. Same thing with like the diet, you know, it's like we're going to be able to maintain our like, I don't know, just how healthy we feel like into our old, like later ages or later years. And then for like my son, I keep telling my wife, I'm just like, hey, like we keep feeding him this way, which is like right now, basically like carnivore. I'm like, if we just make sure that he stays on this path, like he's going to be in the top 1%. Like, do you understand like how like incredible that's going to be and how like impossible it is these days? Cause it's so easy to feed kids yummy food cause it's everywhere. But I'm like, it's like these small little, I mean, that's not a small little habit, but like the walking, you know, and of course the exercise too, but then like the diet too, it's like, man, we could be setting him up for like the absolute best life that he could ever have.
When he's 8 years old, he can make a decision, you know, and he can say, you know, Dad, I want to play baseball. And when he goes and plays baseball, he'll be the kid on the team that has muscle.
Right.
Everybody remembers the kid. Everybody remembers a couple kids when you were in school. Yeah. Jason Hudak. I could think of his name right off the top of my head. And his fucking brother, too, was shredded. His brother had a sick mullet, too, by the way.
Ooh, sick.
But yeah, they looked like they were on PEDs, those little fuckers. I mean, they were smaller guys, smaller frame guys, but they were lean as shit. Yeah. And I remember like being kind of the bigger kid, being the husky kid. Those were my nemesis, like when it came to like arm wrestling and shit like that. Like at lunchtime, I mean, I remember still being able to beat them just because I outweighed them by 700 pounds. But when it came to like running, it came to push-ups. I mean, those guys could fucking move. They were the fastest kids on the playground. And it was just like, I think for them, I don't think they were on a like specific diet or anything. Yeah. But I think that the parents had good habits. I think the parents did have good habits because they were all very athletic. They're all in really good shape. And it's like, why not we're trying to give our kids the best opportunity possible.
Our project family has to go. And now, as you guys know, we have been talking about cold therapy for a while. Mark, Andrew, and myself, we all use cold plunge XLs since we're pretty big. But the cold plunge is amazing. And there are a lot of cold therapy tools out there. Obviously, you can use your shower. But the amazing thing about the cold plunge is, number one, it doesn't take up much space in your home or your backyard. And number two, you don't need to change your water, unlike other cold therapy devices, for 6 months to a year. It filters itself. Let's not even talk about all the benefits of cold plunging, like the dopamine release, how good you feel after doing it, and just the cascade of hormones that happens after you get in some really cold water. It's crazy, and we love it. So, Andrew, how can they get it?
Absolutely. You guys got to head over to thecoldplunge.com, and at checkout, enter promo code POWERPROJECT to save $150 off your very own cold plunge. Again, thecoldplunge.com, links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
And so it's super annoying to all of a sudden try to change everything on a kid that's 13. Like that's a little, that gets to be a lot harder. Hey, I don't know, stand up straight, fix your shoulders, or that gets to be weird. But when they're really young, they say, hey, this is the way that when we're walking, we're going on a walk, it's important that you keep your feet straight. You're going to find, like, if down the road, hey, you can point out Uncle so and so, he was a good football player.
Yeah.
You know, he moved really well. Like part of the reason why he was a good football player, he trained really hard and he moved really well. And if you want to move like him, or if you want to move like your favorite, you point out the favorite baseball player, you want to move like that guy, you want to be able to throw the football like Jimmy G from the 49ers, like that guy pays attention to a lot of these other things, pays attention to his diet. Let's get you walking with your feet straight. Let's get you doing some of these things. Whatever way you got to encourage them when they're young, and then they'll have those habits ingrained in them.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for like for my daughter, she just turned 14, and so like we are trying to like all the shit's clicking, so it's like, damn, like, you feel like, oh, I missed out on so many opportunities. Like so much time has passed, some of these different patterns have been locked in already. But for her, right, if I say, dude, keep your feet straight, like, get in your back chain, like all these, I'm just
eye
joking,
roll.
but, right. It's just like, ugh. But again, normalize what you normalize. When it's, there will be like sweets in the house from time to time, but she doesn't reach for them as often as you would think, because they're there. Like she has candy from like, Halloween from like 8 years ago. Like it's just always there, and it's like kind of like it's gross. So like I leave it there because it's like if she does have candy, it's gonna have a bad response. Yeah. But so what is she listening to? She's listening to the actions that we take every day. So that's like the number one way that I can say like I am helping to teach her how to do things is like
she's listening to you and Stephanie talk about having your feet straight at the dinner table.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And she's seeing us sit on the floor when we do watch Stranger Things, like it's just exactly. She's listening to us by just watching.
And that's the thing though. It's like when we had Matt Boudreau on and, his kid's fucking correcting him. It's because he made, he made certain things and certain actions normal. It's like, this is the way we do things. And if I tell you to do this, you can correct me when you see me not doing it. It's like when we bring these people on, when they tell us about certain things, we're fucking doing it. So if you do have kids, right, and you're trying to do that, well, your kids will model you. Right. So they'll be like, well, I mean, you do it. So, let me take that. And one thing I really do dig is that we fucking are actually changing things. None of us here think we're some fucking ideal level of perfection. We all have these inefficiencies that we're currently working on. And that's why we're trying to talk about it, because we're like, fuck, like if we, I've been able to get my feet to a certain point and actually change certain behaviors. I know if I can do this, then everybody can do this. You know what I mean? And it's just going to be a constant progression. But you got to remember, it does not happen quickly. Be patient with yourself with this shit, because it takes, you're going to have to be aware of how you do things through your day. As you fix it, don't get mad at yourself, just adjust and move forward. So Power Project family, I hope you enjoyed this clip. We are on Discord and Reddit. We're trying to talk to you guys and build a community down there. So the links are in the bio. But remember, like, comment, subscribe, share this out with people so you can share the wealth of health. As cheesy as that fucking sounds. Peace.